using your tire stand to beat the fuck out of your rim, because that'll happen too. I normally have done the Kenda Trackmaster tires, Trackmaster 2s. Anyway, I ordered a set of the Dunlop EN91 tires, which that's like their new, one of their newer enduro tires, FIM spec, a bunch of other acronyms that I have no idea because I'm not a professional enduro rider. I hope to see how the mileage does on the Dunlop EN91s. From the Kenda Trackmasters, I've been on average, I've been getting 2,000 miles. You know, I'm taking the front off just because I like to have a matched set, and I want to see how the fronts do. That way I can give everybody a good review on it, because there are none online. If you're wondering, CRF450L has a 32 millimeter rear axle nut. Take your nut off, take your washer and your rear adjusting block off on this side. Have a little, what weight is this? I don't even know what weight this is. 27 ounces, pound and a half, whatever. It's a dead blow hammer. Pull your axle out. I'm assuming if you're watching this, you probably already know how to take wheels and tires off. But I do ride this on the street probably 50% of the time, just because the other 50% is on gravel or, you know, like an ATV park or something like that. The front is basically just about as simple. Two 5 millimeter hex head bolts that are down here on your disc brake guard. Makes a really good bolt holder. To take them apart, you can also use a 1/4 inch drive impact with a 3/8 adapter, socket adapter. I usually use that to take everything apart. So when it comes to your axle, you can do a couple of different things. I have my ratchet, and this is a 3/4 inch hex drive. The 3/4 fits in your axle. And then you can use a 22 millimeter to break your axle loose. And if it doesn't come loose that way, you can leave these 2 bolts, and that will hold your axle. That way you don't have to use that unless you have 2 ratchets, you know, if you're fancy and you have 2 ratchets. Break that nut loose and come back and just back those out. So you'll remove your nut from this side, lift that up, and then just pull your front tire straight off. And if you guys ever want to letter your tires, Sharpie brand oil-based tire paint. Here's my Harbor Freight tire changing stand thing. So I will say, when it comes to taking the tires off, especially with the tubeless setup, you've got a couple of things that you've got to do that are different other than just having a tube. You've got to take the nut off the bead lock to release the bead from the rim. Pardon my mess. I don't have the best filming environment. I do, however, have a whole bunch of shit laying around everywhere. I look like an episode of Hoarders. And also, it may be easier to use your tire spoons off the stand. First side's done. Moving on to the second side. I'll tell you, it's really not too bad once you get the hang of it. I am not a tire changing professional by any means, as you can tell in this video. So once you get it off, get everything separated out, you can basically just shove the tire sideways and get the tire off. And there is your big thick rubber poke protection, whatever, and then your rubber tube, your air bladder, is actually up inside of this red thing. Front side is the same exact thing. Essentially, you'll turn it, the wheel will fall inside the tire, and you pull the tire out. Tire is off. All right, so as you can tell, I'm hot, I'm sweaty. Tires are supposed to be here tomorrow. I'll see you guys here shortly. Okay, so at this point, this is where it becomes essential to have a rag. The reason that you need a rag is because you're fixing to soak everything in Armor All. I didn't think Armor All was a good idea, but come to find out, it actually works a lot better than soap and water. Got my Dunlop Enduro EN91 tires. The front is a 90-90-21 and the back is a 140-80-18. You've got this yellow dot, and generally that's going to be the lightest point in the tire. I'll start out by putting the rim lock down at the bottom. I get my Armor All and I spray the entire inside of the wheel. Lubrication of your Tubliss setup is key. There's one side done. Using your tire stand to beat the out of your rim, because that'll happen too. There you go. Okay, I can tell you from experience that a Dunlop EN91 tire is harder to mount up than a Kenda Trackmaster. But Tubliss, it's not necessarily hard getting them mounted up, it's just hard doing it by yourself with tire stand from Harbor Freight that you need to modify to make work right, when it's actually just easier to do the shit on the ground. When it comes to rim locks, your rim lock generally weighs 4 ounces, 4.5 ounces, something like that. All right, one wheel down. Now you have a perfectly balanced wheel. The reason I went with the EN91s is because I don't have, there's no real reviews on anything. They have made reinforcements on the back side of the blocks to help you with your grip and stability when going forward. The way that these treads are designed, they're like, these two outers are down a little bit lower, so it's supposed to channel all the dirt or rock or whatever in here to the center. This thing should outperform the Kenda, but is it going to outperform the Kenda by twice as much? This will be your differences between the front two tires. I like to use dielectric grease on my axles and anything else. All right, so to go back through and do the front wheel, your front wheel lock nut, you'll want to tighten that down first, and it gets tightened to 65 foot-pounds. Next, you want to go back through, and all I do is run these down to where they're snug. That right there takes your 10mm socket. These right here will be tightened down to 15 foot-pounds. Go through and just wipe down my rotor. Do the same thing. Wipe off my rear axle. Just get a little dielectric grease. Run up and down the axle. Get your blocks lined back up again. Make sure everything is seated properly. Tap it forward to make sure that it's in alignment. And your rear axle nut will tighten to 94 foot-pounds. Check your chain for alignment. Keep watching for future videos. I'll update you on how the tires are doing. I'll give you pros, cons, what I think of them and all of that. Let you guys know how they're doing and give you a full review on the tire. Give you mileage breakdowns, how far they've worn and things of that nature. Ride safe, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.